Welcome to historic Rather Stadium in Junction City, Kansas for Game 3 of this Mid-Plains League Cowden Cup semifinal series between the first-seeded Junction City Brigade and fifth-seeded Baldwin City Blues. I'm Joe Compton on the call for the Sunflower Sports Network. This game is a winner-go-home with each team having a win in the series. Junction City won Game 1 on Saturday by a score of 13-1, and Baldwin City evened it up last night with a 12-10 home win. The winner of tonight's game advances to the championship series. For the Blues, it would be the first in team history, but for the Brigade, on the other hand, they're looking for their third consecutive and seventh overall championship, not just appearance championship. We're now going to announce the starting lineups, then go to a short break. And just a heads up for you all, if you're new to the broadcast, the microphone will be muted during breaks. That way we don't get any copyright strikes, and we can keep this stream up during and after the games. But now for the starting lineups. First, the away team, the Baldwin City Blues. Batting first is the center fielder, Maverick Rockers. Following him, the left fielder, Brennan Johnson. After him, the catcher, Andrew Brubeck. Batting fourth is the shortstop, Kuiper Kendall. And the five-hole is the designated hitter, Harrison Jewell. Batting sixth is the second baseman, Christian Kotwitz. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Vincent Esposito. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Caleb Moore. And batting ninth, the third baseman, Grant Simblick. Pitching for the Blues, making his second playoff appearance, is Tyler Vigna. Now to the home team, the Junction City Brigade. Batting first is the center fielder, Jace Essig. Following him, the second baseman, Carson Schrack. Batting third, the right fielder, Dalton Nelson. And batting fourth, the first baseman, Jarek Braden. Following him in the five-hole is the designated hitter, George Andrews. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Isaac Peggers. Batting seventh, the catcher, Zach Becker. Batting eighth, the left fielder, Keegan McDonald. And batting at ninth, the shortstop, Braden Dinkle. Pitching for the Brigade, making his first appearance this playoff series, and the playoffs overall for the Brigade, is Connor Hawley. And with that, we are going to step aside and take a short break, and probably be back in about 5 minutes as I continue to finish up just what little preparation I have left and take a break. And really, the last thing I'll say, it's pretty hot out, so bear with me. I should be fine for the entire time, but as I pull up the temperatures here in Junction City, it is a cool 96 degrees. And actually, we are looking at some storms maybe coming in around 9 p.m. So I will keep you guys updated on that, because that is new to me as of right now. When I looked this morning, there wasn't anything like that. But now we're going to take my break, and I will be back in just 5 minutes. Once again, I'm Joe Compton, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just say whatever you want in the chat. I'll try to see it and respond to it in a timely manner, but now is my break. back here in Raiders Stadium. The national anthem has just been played, so it looks like we're about ready to go. Save for the starting lineups, which I read you guys them off already, but I could do them one more time, I suppose.
As I mentioned, folks, tonight
I will
is
do
win
the...
or go home. So be ready for a show.
I will do the batting lineup for the Blues, followed by the fielding lineup for the Junction City Brigade, and then I will flip those
Also, please remember to show respect for others.
at the
Just here to enjoy the game.
bottom of the
There will
inning.
be no smoking allowed inside
So,
the field
starting
or
off,
inside any of our grounds. If
the
you'd like to enjoy a cigarette, please go outside of our grounds.
top of the first inning is Maverick Rockers, Brennan Johnson, Andrew Brubeck, Kuiper Kendall, Harrison Jewell, Christian Kotwitz, Vincent Esposito, Kayla Moore, and Grant Simblick batting for the Blues. Now in fielding order for Junction City, it is Connor Hawley, Zach Becker, pitcher-catcher, Jarek Braden, Carson Schrack, Isaac Peggers. First through third, Braden Dinkle playing short. In left field is Keegan McDonald, center field Jace Essig, and right field Dalton Nelson. And we are ready to go, I believe. Connor Hawley taking his final warm-up pitches, and then we will have a game. This is a throwback to maybe the 2021 playoffs, where Baldwin City came in as the 5th seed. They swept their first opponent, then came into Junction City. Actually, they came into Junction City 1-0 up and lost the last two. This time, they lost the first game, won last night in Baldwin City, so the series is tied at 1. And as I said, once again, this is a win or go home.
On the bump tonight, number 29, Connor Hawley. Left to back, number 5, Maverick.
And it is probably not too outlandish to say that Junction City at 23-4 against Mid-Plains League opponents, as Connor Hawley's first pitch is outside for ball 1. The home team is probably the favorite, as Hawley's pitch finds the zone. Count is now 1-1. Breaking ball maybe just a little high. 2-1 the count. Hawley's next pitch is swung on and a miss, so the count evens up at 2-2. As I said, this is Hawley's first start of the playoffs, as this one catches the outside part of the zone, and Maverick Rockers is sat down. 1 away here in the top of the first inning.
And that's a called strike 3 right there to get us started. Up next, number 47, Brennan Johnson.
Which brings up Brennan Johnson. Johnson is 7 for 17 with 3 RBIs, 4 runs, a walk and a hit by pitch, as he takes the first pitch inside for ball 1, as well as 2 strikeouts in the 4 games of the Blues playoff run. He's going to swing and miss on second offering, so the count is now 1-1. One pitch is fouled off to the left side, out of play. So the count is now 1-2. Have a decent crowd here in Junction City, and people are starting to file in. It is 6:59, and the advertised start time was 7 o'clock, so we have to think that people will be coming in. As Johnson puts this one play, hit to the second baseman track. His first pitch, the throw to second is in time. So Brennan Johnson is retired, and that makes 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Which brings up Andrew Brubeck. Struggled maybe a little bit in this playoff series, 1 for 14. However, has an RBI and 3 walks to his credit, as he sees his breaking ball go in for called strike 1. One pitch, high and outside, ball 1. Brubeck sends this one to third and past the glove of the third baseman Peggers. And Andrew Brubeck is going to round first but stay there. Andrew Brubeck on board with a 2-out single. And
First hit for either side comes quickly. Number 18, Kuiper Kendall.
And that will bring up
Up to
Kuiper
bat.
Kendall. Kuiper Kendall, 8 for 19 in this playoff series with 2 doubles, 6 RBIs. That leads the Blues as he takes the first pitch inside and has 3 runs to his credit. And that first pitch, by the way, was a strike. Kuiper Kendall calls time, and I feel like it would be wrong of me to mention that, or to not mention, Kuiper Kendall is the 2023 Mid-Plains League Player of the Year, as he sees the first pitch outside for ball 1. Kendall batted, I believe, .419 in the regular season, which if you know anything about baseball, well, that's pretty good. So he sees 1-1 right now, and he's going to foul this one off out of play. Over the grandstand and behind us. The count is now 1-2. Kendall puts this one in play, and it'll be mishandled by the the third baseman Peggers. So I don't know. I'm not going to say it was routine.
I think that one will be scored as an error there.
Actually, they're telling us over the PA announcement that will be an error, so that will be an E6, and that brings up Harrison Jewell, the designated hitter. Jewell takes the first pitch high for ball 1. The 1-0 is swung on and hit in foul play, but a play could be made on it, and that will be the first baseman, Jarek Braden, making the play. So no runs off, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left on base. We go to the bottom of the first inning. We're scoreless here in Junction City, and with that, I'm going to take a break, and we will be back in just a few minutes here on the Sunflower Sports Network. Do not go anywhere. Back here in the bottom of the first inning here in Rathert Stadium in Junction City. If you're just now joining us, Baldwin City gets 2 on with 2 outs. However, it strands the 2 on with a pop foul out. So the game is scoreless. Reading off the fielding lineup for Baldwin City, it will be Tyler Vigna pitching, Andrew Brubeck catching. First through third is Vincent Esposito, Christian Kotwitz, and Grant Simblick. Shortstop is Kuiper Kendall. The outfielders left to right, Brennan Johnson, Maverick Rockers, and Caleb Moore. The Junction City batting lineup starts off with Jace Essig, then Carson Track, Dalton Nelson, Jarek Braden, George Andrews, Isaac Peggers, Zach Becker, Keegan McDonald, and Braden Dinkle. But right now is Jace Essig, who will lead off, will start the proceedings for Junction City. We will try to get something going here early, as Vigna's first pitch is in there for called strike 1. Vigna is a Mid-Plains League all-league player as a reliever. However, he is starting tonight, and he starts his night off with 2 called strikes. Jace Essig, also an all-league player. His came in center field. But the count is 0-2 to Essig so far. Make that 0-3. Tyler Vigna, 3 pitches, 3 strikes, 1 out. And that's going to bring up Carson Track. Carson Schrack,
Here comes
another
number
All-Star,
10,
is
Carson Schrack.
has played very well in this series so far. He is 5 for 10 with a double, a triple, 1 RBI, 4 runs, and a walk to his credit as Vinya's first pitch of this at-bat finds the outside part of the zone. So the count is 0-1. Next pitch, in there once again. Make the count 0-2. Count being 0-2. Schrack will foul this one off, so the count will remain 0-2. Vinya, as I said, making his second start of the postseason, as this pitch is low for ball 1. Schrack started to kind of go around. However, nothing good enough to even warrant an appeal down to first base, where our field umpire is situated. As Schrack fouls this one off right back onto his leg, but he seems to be fine, and that's why players wear leg guards so often these days. So he's okay, and he's ready to go again. As I said, Vinya making his second start, the first one, game 1 of the season, or game 1 of the playoffs, as Schrack fouls this one off and hits the, I believe that is the gutters right, lining the top of the grandstand. So it made kind of a loud bang, and, oh yeah, but Vinya did quite well in that start. He did not get a decision, however, the Blues won, as Schrack will send this one into center field. He's aboard with a 1-out single. And that brings up
Here comes number 5, Dalton Nelson.
the right fielder, Dalton Nelson, who is 4 for 8 with a home run, 2 RBIs, 3 runs, a walk, and a hit by pitch in the 2 games the Brigade has played in this playoff series. He's going to look to drive in maybe a run or 2, as he's going to send this one foul to the right side, so the count is 0-1. Big series ahead of us. The other game in Mid-Plains League action tonight is Midwest A's versus the Topeka Warhawks. Lane Gillespie is on the call for that game, as this pitch is outside, evens up the count at 1. Lane Gillespie is on the call for that one. You can find it at midplainsleague.mixer.com. However, if you're at this game, I suggest you stay here. And by the way, I see the question now about who's hitting first, as Nelson swings and misses an inside pitch. The count is 1-2. Hitting first as far as team was the Baldwin City. They went scoreless, as Vinya throws over. The tag applied by Esposito is hastily applied, so Schrack will stay at first base. The count is 1-2, as this one is hit into center field. Maverick Rockers is not able to get a beat on this, and Schrack is going to be in third base before Maverick Rockers plays. Schrack is being sent home. The throw is not in time, so an RBI double by Dalton Nelson gets the Brigade on the board first.
We called it a save in the air. That was over. The center fielders had good margin, scoring the first run of the night. Here comes number 26, Jared Brayden.
But that is an RBI, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Jarek Brayden. Brayden is 6 for 11 on the playoff series. Went 5 for 6 the first night, which means last night he went 1 for 5, and he's going to send this one to the first baseman, Vincent Esposito, who will just tag the base. And that is a 3 unassisted. And we have 2 away here in the bottom of the first. However, as that happened, Dalton Nelson did advance to third, and that brings up George Andrews. If you watched last night's game, George Andrews' last at bat was a big towering home run, probably out 400 feet, as this one is fouled off behind. Count is 0-1. Andrews so far in this playoff series 3 for 7 with a double, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 2 runs, and 2 walks. He is a left-hander, which I have said before may present an advantage here at Rather Stadium as this pitch goes outside. But the advantage comes from the fact that it is about 342 to the left field foul pole and is 324 to right. It's 388 in center, but both guys will generally hit that way as Andrews sees the next pitch of the at-bat outside for ball 2. This one is swung on by Andrews, and that'll even up the count at 2. 2-2 with 2 outs. And a runner on third. Junction City up early. 1-0 courtesy of a RBI double by Dalton Nelson. The 2-2, though, is fouled and out of play. So the count still 2-2. Make that 3-2. This next pitch from Vinya is outside, so the count is full. 3-2 with 2 outs. Three-two pitch swung on, foul tip, miss. So make that strikeout number 2 for Tyler Vinya, who has 2 strikeouts on the inning. 1 run off, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on. Junction City has taken the 1-0 lead after 1 inning, and with that, we are going to take a break and be back with the top of the second here on Sunflower Sports Network. Do not go anywhere. Christian Kotwitz leads off the top of the second inning here in Baldwin City. Or excuse me, not Baldwin City. That is my normal place of broadcast. This is Junction City, and it is Christian Kotwitz leading off the top of the second inning, who fouls the first pitch off. So the count is 0-1 early, and he fouls it off once again. Count 0-2. As time is called, we will step back in the box. Christian Kotwitz 1 for 4 into this playoff season. 2 RBIs, however, and 1 strikeout. And that pitch is outside for ball 1. He's going to look to get something started here early. His squad down. But he goes down swinging and make that strikeout number 2 for Connor Hawley. That brings up Vincent Esposito, who is 4 for 16.
Here comes number 23.
1 RBI, 3 runs,
Vincent
and 2
Esposito.
strikeouts. And especially last night, he was a big player. Went 3 for 4 in his time, and he's going to send this one past the glove of the first baseman. And Vincent Esposito is on board with a 1-out single. That brings up Caleb Moore making his first playoff start.
Next to the plate.
Came in as a sub on Saturday night in Junction City and put the ball in play, but was retired as he swings at that first one and it goes foul. So the count is 0-1. Moore sees this next pitch down the heart of the plate, so the count 0-2 early. The 0-2 pitch, high, ball 1. Connor Hawley, I have him at 25 pitches right now, and this time he's given up 1 hit. And make that 3 strikeouts as Moore chases at that one, maybe a little too far. Either way, that means 2 outs here in the top of the second inning.
Bringing another one up there for Connor Hawley.
Brings up Grant Simblick.
Number 17, Grant Simblick.
Grant Simblick rounding out the bottom of the batting order as Hawley throws back at first to try and catch Esposito. Cannot find him, so we will go again. But Simblick has an RBI in the playoff series. And he's going to take this first pitch high for ball 1. Should this inning continue, Maverick Rockers will follow Grant Simblick, and that will be the start of the order as Esposito goes, and there's 2 outs. I think Esposito is maybe a little confused as he started to run back, but either way, the catch was made by Jace Essig, so make that an F8 and the end of the inning. No runs off 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We will move to the bottom of the second inning. Junction City is still leading 1-0, and with that, we will take a break and be back in just a few minutes. Do not go anywhere. Isaac Peggers will lead off the bottom of the second inning. His squad leading 1-0. That 1-0 coming off a Dalton Nelson RBI double as this first pitch by Tyler Vinia in there for a called strike 1. This next pitch fouled off, making the count 0-2 early. Count is 0-2 to Isaac Peggers, who is as I said, the leadoff batter, and this one's going to get hit into center field. Maverick Rockers back trying to track it, and this one will hit the wall, and Peggers rounding second, make that an leadoff double for Isaac Peggers. And that will be Zach Becker up next.
Here comes number 2, Zach Becker.
Becker is 2 for 8 in this playoff series with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and 2 walks. Becker, an honorable mention all-league player. Usually a catcher for Junction City. That's where he is playing tonight. And he shows bunt at first offering. Vinny will turn around, throw to third, and Peggers will be retired. So a failed sack bunt. However, Becker will.
Good play by the Blues. Here comes number 35, Keegan McDonald.
That will retire Isaac Peggers, as I was trying to say. However, Jeff Becker reaches via a fielder's choice, and Becker will go the throw down to second. I believe in time, but the tag not applied in time. So credit Zach Becker with a stolen base, and I believe that was a ball. However, I did not get any kind of confirmation. Either way, Zach Becker is in scoring position with just 1 out, and this is Keegan McDonald up to plate. Pena throws this one inside, and actually McDonald, even before a signal from the ump, runs down, and that's going to be a hit by pitch. Looked pretty close on my end, but hit by pitch is what it is, and that brings up Braden Dinkle, who rounds out the bottom of the order for Junction City. As the throw back to try to catch Becker will not be there, and I'm going to count that an E1 as probably Tyler Vigna. But the Junction City has 2 on and 2 in scoring position with 1 out. This is Braden Dinkle, who takes the first pitch high. 4-1. Dinkle, not usually the bottom of the order, actually. As I'm trying to find it, he fouls this one off. However, Vincent Esposito will try to make the grab, and he does. So count that. Pop foul out 3. And there are 2 away here. And that brings up Jace Essig. Essig is 0 for 1 tonight. Went down in 3 pitches in the leadoff at bat of the bottom of the first. So 0 for 1 with a strikeout he is. However, he's going to look to do some damage and extend his squad's lead as he takes that pitch in there for called strike 1. But he's going to look to extend his team's lead. They have runners at second and third with 2 outs. Of course, they are leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. This pitch hit out to left field. Brendan Johnson is tracking it, and he is under it. And he will make the grab. So, with all that said and done, no runs off 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left on. We will move to the top of the third. Junction City still leads 1-0. And with that, we are going to take a break. Do not go anywhere. Maverick Rockers leads off the top of the third inning. Baldwin City facing a 1-0 deficit as this pitch by Connor Hawley in there for ball one. Rockers was sat down looking in the first at-bat of the game, making him 0 for 1. However, he hits this one into the outfield. This will be the right fielder, Dalton Nelson, making the grab. So we have one away here early.
Rockers with the short little fly out. Here comes number 47.
And stepping in
Brennan
will be
Johnson.
Brennan Johnson. Johnson is 0 for 1 with a ground out as he takes his first pitch low for ball one. Same pitch, same location, same result. Ball two. And this pitch catches the outside part of the zone for called strike one. Johnson fouls this one off, so the count evens up at 2. 2-2 with one out here in the top of the third inning. Johnson swings and misses. However, the third strike is dropped. No problem for Zach Becker, who makes the throw. Make that another strikeout.
In the dirt there. Throw down to first.
For Connor Hawley, that is number 4 for him, and that brings up Andrew Brubeck, trying to get something done with 2 outs. Brubeck will take the first pitch high for ball one. Brubeck 1 for 1 today, had a single and advanced to second base on an error, and he's going to swing to even up the count at 1. However, was held up at second base where he was stranded to finish the first inning. This pitch is low and away for ball 2. Brubeck will foul this one off, but it will land on top of the Baldwin City Blues dugout, thus out of play, and the count is 2-2. Connor Hawley really likes to, well, he doesn't waste a lot of time. He really likes to just get into a groove and go fast, and sometimes as I try to score things, as that one's high, I score them and I look up and he's already ready to start another pitch, so I don't know what that says about his speed or mine. Either way, relative to me, it's pretty fast. As this one, they're going to say he did not go and appeal down to first. So a 4-pitch walk by Andrew Brubeck. He's on with 2 outs. And actually, it probably would have been a drop third strike. However, Brubeck was so sure, and for good reason, that he did not take a full enough swing as Kuiper Kendall takes this first pitch inside, but strike 1. Kuiper Kendall is 0 for 1, advanced via an E5 in his last trip up to the plate as he takes this pitch outside for ball 1, evens up the count at 1. Kendall takes a check swing, but not big enough to warrant an appeal down, so that will be ball 2. 2-1 to Kendall. Kendall swings and fouls this one back behind us, evening up the count at 2. So 2-2 with 2 outs. Runner on first here in the top of the third. Junction City leading 1-0. As the 2-2 pitch home, low for ball 3. So the count is full for Kuiper Kendall, who is either going to try to draw a walk or get on board with a hit. However, we'll see what happens. He swings and misses, so make that strikeout number 5 for Connor Hawley, and no runs No hits, no errors. One left on base. We move to the bottom of the third. Junction City still leading 1-0. And with that, we are going to take a break and be back in just a couple minutes. Do not go anywhere. Carson Schrack leads off the top of the third inning. Schrack is 1 for 1 with a single and a run. He fouls the first pitch off. That pitch by Tyler Vigna makes the count 0-1. Schrack will foul this one off the other way. This time pulls it. Result is an 0-2 count. This pitch, though, is high. 4-1 makes the count 1-2. Schrack will send this one to the shortstop, Kuiper Kendall. His throw to first is in time. So 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. And that will be Dalton Nelson up to the plate next. Nelson is 1 for 1 with a RBI double. However, it was stranded on third in the bottom of the first. However, his RBI is the difference. The score is still 1-0 Junction City. Nelson takes the first pitch. High 4-1. This breaking ball inside. 2-0 count now. Seems to be a decent amount of people here in Junction City, as I said, as Nelson sends this one to left field. Brennan Johnson tracking it, and he will make the grab. So make that an F7 and 2 away in just as many batters.
Just a few more feet there, and it could have been gone for Dalton. Maybe the next time.
And that'll bring up Jarek Braden.
Jarek Braden.
Jarek Braden is 0 for 1 with a ground out to first. That happened in the bottom of the first, and he's ready to try and get something done. 2 outs, nobody on. Score 1-0, and the first pitch Braden sees is outside. 4-1. This pitch is inside. So 2-0 to Braden early. So the third pitch that Braden saw is he made contact with the first pitch that he swung at in his first at-bat. However, in 3 pitches, he's seen 3. They've all been balls in this next at-bat. So 3-0 the count with 2 outs. Braden's going to look to get on, and that will be the case. That pitch outside, so Jarek Braden works a 2-out, 4-pitch walk, and that's going to bring up Garrett Andrews.
Here comes number 33, George
George Andrews. I don't know where the Garrett came from. I guess the G of Garrett and G of George, something like that. But either way, it is George Andrews, who is currently 0 for 1 with a strikeout. However, is a guy who can put the ball over the fence, as he has done twice in this series. And this one is hit up high. It will be Kuiper Kendall calling everybody off to make the grab, and he will get it. So that ends the inning. No runs off, no hits, no errors, one left on. We will move to the top of the fourth inning. Junction City still leading 1-0. And with that, we are going to take a break and be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. This is the Sunflower Sports Network. Harrison Jewell leads off the top of the fourth inning, and figured I would just give you guys an update on the other game of the playoffs. Game 3 between Midwest A's and the Topeka Warhawks, as Jewell takes that pitch inside, 4-1, makes count 1-0. Jewell swings and misses and quickly evens up the count at 1. So as it stands right now, the Midwest A's lead 1-0 in Topeka. They have 1 on with 1 out in the top of the third, and Jewell will send this one into left field. However, that will be no problem for Keegan McDonald, who makes the play. 1 away here in the top of the fourth inning for Christian Kotwitz. And obviously, the other game in our series, also winner go home, as it is a game 3. If both results hold, then we will get the same, as this pitch is in there for called strike 1. But if those results hold and Junction City and Midwest A's win, as Kotwitz swings and misses at an outside 1, so the count 0-2. But if that happens, we'll get the same championship series that we've had for the past 2 seasons, as this pitch outside for ball 1. It has been A's Brigade the last 2 seasons. Brigade winning both of those, as this pitch from Hawley is outside. However, this pitch is outside, the count goes full. Baldwin City and Topeka Warhawks are looking to play spoiler, both of them trying to reach the championship series in their first time, for the first time in either team's history, as this one is
That's at least 3 backwards Ks on the
called
night.
strike 3.
Vincent Esposito.
And that brings up Vincent Esposito. And I believe that is strikeout number 3, as Vincent Esposito hits this first one to the first baseman Braden, who will make the play unassisted. And that is a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. And we will move to the bottom of the fourth after the break. Do not go anywhere.
Number 8,
Isaac Peggers leads off the the bottom of the fourth inning for his second trip out, and he's going to send this one up in the air, but out of play, so that moves the count to 0-1. Peggers is 1 for 1 with a double, however, was retired on the base pass as part of a sac bunt attempt by Zach Becker as he takes this one inside for 1-1. So this is Tyler Vania out for another inning of work as his next pitch is outside, so the count is 2-1. Giving it an update weather-wise, as I will after this pitch, that Isaac Peggers sends down the third base line, but on the foul side, so the count moves to 2-2. It was about 96 degrees at time of the first pitch. It is now 93. So definitely getting cooler here as Peggers sends this one out into left field. Brendan Johnson will make the grab, though. So make that an F7. And actually, as I count it, that is F7 number 3 for the night, and that will bring up Zach Becker. But yes, hopefully things will get cooler, both for the players and for me. I'm sweating quite a lot here, even with my fan, and actually the fan's concentrated on the computer because, of course, we want to get you that game first. Zach Becker hits one to Christian Kotwitz, who makes the throw to first, and 2 outs and maybe 1 broken bat. As that did not sound great, but that brings up Keegan McDonald. McDonald is 0 for 0 with a hit by pitch. That happened in the bottom of the second inning, however, was stranded on the base pass as this first pitch finds the outside part of the zone for called strike 1. So 0-2 the count with 2 outs here. Make that 0-2. That pitch finding the zone for called strike 2. The 0-2 pitch by Vinya is high for ball 1. And checking on activity, I know it's kind of early on in the game. I mean, it is the bottom of the fourth. However, both pitchers have been quite efficient as this one goes outside. Just checking on activity in the bullpen, there is none in either of them. I suspect that might start happening soon. The 2-2 in there, called strike 3. Make that strikeout number 3 for Tyler Vinya. A 1-2-3 inning for him. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We will move to the top of the 5th. Junction City still leading 1-0. And with that, I am going to take a break and step aside. And when I am back, we will have the top of the 5th inning for you. Do not go anywhere. This is the Sunflower Sports Network. Caleb Moore will lead off the top of the 5th inning. Junction City leads by a score of 1-0 after 4 innings, and I would just like to comment, they had the Dizzy Bat competition here in Junction City, and If you've listened to the games before, as Moore fouls this first one off, you know that I am a Dizzy Bet purist and believe that if you're playing Dizzy Bet, you should be held to the rules. And both of the contestants played them well, as Caleb Moore will swing and miss on this one. Moore 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far. But they both had their heads on the bat, the bat's on the ground. I've seen some bad ones as Moore goes for a strikeout. One away here in the top of the fifth. And make that strikeout number 1, 2, 3,
Number 17, Grant
4,
Simbaugh.
5, 6,
Got the guy.
7 for Connor Hawley. And that brings up Grant Simblick. Simblick is 0 for 1 so far with a flyout. As his squad is going to look to get a hit as Simblick sends this one into center field. Jace Essig tracking it, and he will make the grab. So 2 away here in the top half of the fifth inning. And that brings up Maverick Rockers,
Number 5, Maverick Rockers.
who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. Maverick Rockers takes the first pitch inside, or actually down the heart of the plate, but it was a strike either way. Just had to correct my location on it. Rockers will send this one to short. The throw to first in time. So another 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. We're going to move to the bottom half of the fifth inning. And with that,
This has turned itself into a pitcher's
we will
duel
take a
with
break.
Baldwin
Junction
leading
City
through 4.5.
leading
We got to the bottom of the fifth
1-0.
inning. I will remind you.
We're back with the bottom of the fifth inning. This is Braden Dinkle leading off for Junction City. His squad leading 1-0 as Dinkle will send this one up, foul, and behind us. So the count moves to 0-1. Dinkle is 0 for 1 with a pop foul out. He'll take this one inside for ball 1. And kind of a pitcher's duel so far. I will read off the stats in a second as Dinkle sends this one to third. The throw by Grant Simblick is in time. So 1 away here in the top of the the bottom of the fifth. And that brings up Jace Essig. He's going to try and get something done here in the bottom of the fifth inning. The lights are on here in Junction City. It is 7:51. However, the sun still way out as this pitch from Vinya catches the outside part of the zone. 4 strike 1. This one maybe just a little inside. It evens up the count at 1. But as I was saying before, kind of a pitcher's duel. Junction City has 1 run as this one is hit into shallow left field. Kepper Kendall will make the grab, so make that a P6. And 2 away here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. That brings up Carson Schrack, who is 1 for 2 at a single, and he is the 1 run of the game. However, as I was saying before, the runs and hits. Junction City leads this one 1-0. However, the hits are tied exactly at 2. Junction City scoring in the first inning. Schrack fouls this one off. Schrack was the runner that scored. However, it was an RBI double by Dalton Nelson, which allowed him to cross home safely. So as of right now, that is the difference as we're in the bottom of the 5th with 2 outs. As Schrack sends this one to center field, but Maverick Rockers finds it on a line. So another 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We're going to move to the top of the 6th. Junction City still leading 1-0. And with that, we're going to take a break and be back shortly. Do not go anywhere. Brennan Johnson leads off the top of the 6th inning. His squad, Baldwin City, down 1-0. As Connor Holly out for another inning of work. Holly's first pitch in there for called strike 1. Brennan Johnson is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout as his first pitch, or actually second pitch, goes high to even up the count at 1. However, he will try to bring his squad maybe a base runner and eventually a run. As I said, they trail 1-0 here in the top of the 6th. Johnson sees that pitch high, so the count moves to 3-1. Johnson sends this one into left field. However, no problem for Keegan McDonald, who will make the grab. One away here in the top of the 6th.
Number 19, Andrew Brubeck.
For Andrew Brubeck, who is 1 for 1, as he sends this one to the shortstop, who throw to first is in time. However, it was close enough. Manager Tanner Kilmer wants to talk this one over, and we're going to have a conversation between the home plate umpire and the field umpire. But as for right now, it is out number 2, and Kuiper Kendall will be the next batter up. I imagine this will be a short conversation, and it is. So that is a 6-3 putout, and makes that 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning for Kuiper Kendall. Excuse me, this is the top of the 6th, by the way. Kuiper Kendall 0 for 2, reached on error and struck out in his 2 at-bats, and this first one is in there for called strike 1. So 0-2 the count. Kendall swings and misses at the second one, so it is quickly 0-2. Here with 2 outs as Kendall calls time, just to maybe try to get his bearings in and maybe try to reach base. However, he will swing and miss He goes down swinging for another time, and this is not deja vu. This is another 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We're going to move to the bottom of the sixth. But before that, we're going to take a break, so do not go anywhere. This is Sunflower Sports Network. It will be Dalton Nelson that will lead off the bottom of the sixth. The Junction City Brigade currently leading Baldwin City Blues 1-0. And if you want to credit anyone, credit Dalton Nelson, who swings and misses on first offering by Tyler Vinia, who is out for another inning. However, Dalton Nelson in his first at-bat doubled, which was an RBI, and gave his team the lone run. And things stand as they do. 1-0 Brigade. This pitch high. 4-2. 2-1 the count. Checking guys in the bullpen. There is an arm for Junction City. I'm going to try and tell you who that is in just a second. But before that, Nelson will send one out to center. And this one is gone. So Dalton Nelson, make that RBI number 2 for him. Junction City has extended their lead. It is now 2-0 here in the bottom of the sixth inning. And after that, that's going to bring up Jarek Braden. Braden is 0 for 1. As this next pitch by Vinia outside, 4-1. Trying to figure out who that is in the bullpen for Junction City. I'll let you know in just 1 second, but Jarek Braden will swing and miss at that one, so the count moves to 1-1. Vinia's next pitch is fouled off, so the count now 1-2. This pitch, low and inside, evens up the count at 2. So, as I said, 2-0 is the score, 2-0 is the score now in favor of Junction City. Credit Dalton Nelson with both RBIs. One coming by way of a double and the other a home run. However, this ball will be hit, and Grant Simblick makes a diving play. Sorry, unfortunately out of view of the camera. However, that will be a pop foul caught by the third baseman. That is Grant Simblick, which means a 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth. And that brings up George Andrews, designated hitter, who is 0 for 2 tonight. with a strikeout and a flyout to his credit. And this first pitch by Vinya in there for called strike one. So 0-1 the count now to Andrews, a tall, lanky lefty who can, well, he can hit the ball. Has 2 home runs in this series. Had one last night that was gone off the bat, and actually almost had another one earlier in the game. Saw his squad lose 12-10, but Andrews will go down swinging there. So credit another strikeout for Tyler Vinya.
He was number 8.
Is strikeout number 5 for Vinya, and there is 2 away, and that brings up Isaac Peggers. And just looking into the Baldwin City bullpen, as I can actually see a number on the jersey of Gavin Alvarez. He is in the bullpen. It will be presumably the reliever as Peggers fouls this one off, making the count 1-1. Actually, make that 0-2, I think. Or maybe I wrote down a strike. I'm not sure. Either way, there's a strike up there, and a ball is the other one, or maybe the ball is the other one. But this one's definitely a strike. So the first one was obviously a ball. So 1-2 is the count to Isaac Peggers, who is 1 for 2 with a double and a flyout. The 1-2 pitch is down low, so the count evens up at 2-2. The 2 pitch nearly missed Peggers, and Garrett Francis is trying to say that it hit Peggers in the head, and the Baldwin City Blues players are trying to say it hit Peggers in the bat. And obviously, if it hit him in the bat, that would be a foul ball. But provisionally, it is a ball, which would make the count go full. I'm really not sure which one it hit. However, it was close enough that we'll have an umpire discussion and trying to figure out still what it is. But it has ignited quite a lot of chatter among the stands here in Rather Stadium. Now, manager Tanner Kilmer here to talk it over. And as I said, provisionally it is ball 3, and a lot of chatter from the Junction City, the third base side. In fact, that's them trying to, well, they're trying to figure it out. I really have no idea what it is then, so it's going to go back to Garrett Francis. Actually, it will not. Our home plate umpire hearing no more protests, so the count is full to Isaac Peggers. Payoff pitch. Hit fair. Got by Simblick to throw to first, though not in time. Simblick actually made a great diving play to even get the throw off. However, credit an infield single with 2 outs to Isaac Peggers. He's on, and that brings up Zach Becker, who leads, or who will try to extend this Junction City lead. Becker is 0 for 2 tonight, however, advanced on a fielder's choice and an attempted sacrifice bunt, as this pitch is outside for ball 1. And the next one was a ground out. But the count is 1-0 to Becker. Now make that 1-1. That pitch is in there for called strike 1. So obviously the count now 1-1 with 2 outs. Junction City leading 2-0 as Peggers goes. The throw down to second. Not in time. I believe Peggers got under the tag of Kuiper Kendall. So credit Isaac Peggers with a stolen base, and he was surely gone there, but obviously got under the tag, and he's in scoring position with 2 outs. Count is 2-1 to Zach Becker now, as the last pitch was a ball. However, this next pitch outside, so 3-1 the count now. Still trying to figure out who is active in the Junction City bullpen. They're doing stretches, and their front is facing my way. Unfortunately, I don't see the front letters or the front numbers that far. I do see the back, however, but as this pitch in there for called strike 2, evens up the count. Actually, it does not even up the count. The count is full. 3-2 to Zach Becker, who will look to reach base for a second time tonight. But until then, Peggers goes. Becker sends one to first. The throw in time. So now that inning is over. 1 run off 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on. We move to the top of the 7th. Junction City now it leads 2-0. And with that, we will take a break and be back in just a minute on the Sunflower Sports Network. Do not go anywhere. Harrison Jewell will lead off the top half of the 7th inning. Junction City Brigade leading 2-0. This is Connor Hawley out for another inning of work. And as Jewell check swings, he went, and I believe it was a strike anyway. 0-1 to start the inning. Jewell takes this next pitch high. Harrison Jewell trying to reach base for the first time, currently 0 for 2 with a pop, foul out, and a line out. However, he's a guy, as he takes this one outside for 2-1, who is known to hit the ball far, has 5 home runs on the season. That includes the postseason, as he sends this one into left center field. And he's going to round second base and get there, round first and head to second. As he gets there easily, Harrison Jewell is on with a leadoff double. And that means he is the first base runner for Baldwin City since the 3rd inning. Giving you guys an update on the Topeka Warhawks versus the Midwest A's. The A's have broken this one open. They lead 6-0 in the top of the 4th. They have bases loaded with 1 out. Well, this brings up Christian Kotwitz, who is currently 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Those 2 strikeouts happening both ways as this first pitch inside 4-1. Kotwitz swings at the high one, so that means the count is even at 1-1. If you remember last night's game, or if you tuned in, Baldwin City scored 5 runs between the 7th and 8th innings. And they're going to have to start scoring now as this pitch goes low if they want to keep their game going and the season. As I have stated, this is a winner-go-home. Game 3, winner to the championship series. Loser, well, their season's done. As this one hits Christian Kotwitz right on the elbow, and he was hit by a pitch last night, and there's a reason he leads the team in HBPs. I believe that is 8 now on the season. And that means that the Baldwin City Blues will have 2 on with nobody out, and Vincent Esposito will be the next pitcher. However, we're going to have a mound visit by assistant coach Aaron Eshelman. And we're going to take a break and be back when that is done. Now, batting that mound visit was a short one and only a mound visit. Vincent Esposito is the next batter who takes the first pitch in there for called strike 1. Esposito is 1 for 2 today, has a single but grounded out to first base in his last at bat, but he's going to try and get some runs scored. He was 3 for 4 last night, all 3 of them singles. As he swings at this one, it's going to be hit to the second baseman, Carson Schrack. You throw to second in time, you throw to first also in time. So a double play there via Carson Schrack and Jarek Braden. Now 2 outs here. And this is going to be a new batter. This is Gage Callahan, who replaces Caleb Moore. Caleb Moore will finish the day 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. But it is Gage Callahan. As a new batter trying to drive in at least Harrison Jewell, who advanced to third in that double play sequence. But Callahan's going to take the first pitch high. 4-1. Connor Hawley ready to go again, and Callahan's going to hit this one straight to Hawley, who will mishandle it. You throw to first, not in time. Make that an E1, but that will score a run. Baldwin City has cut the lead to 1. As Harrison Jewell will score.
Number 17, Grant Baldwin looks to add on.
And it will be Grant Simblick, the new batter. Simblick currently 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts, both to center field, actually. And if you see where Jace Essex is playing, he's positioned a little bit right of that center field distance sign. As Callahan will go, the throw down to second, not in time. So Gage Callahan has put himself in scoring position. With 2 outs. And that first pitch was up high, 4-1. And Simblick will have to get out of the way of that one. That one headed straight for his feet. However, he was able to successfully get out of the way, so that just means the count is 2-0. rather than a hit by pitch. This pitch high, so 3 pitches, 3 balls for Connor Hawley. So 3-0 is the count to Grant Simblick, who will look to get on board and continue to cut into this Junction City lead. As the 3-0 inside, make that ball 4. Baldwin City has 2 men on once again, this time with 2 outs, and we're going to have a mound visit by pitching coach head coach Garrett Francis, which will presumably mean the end of the day for Connor Hawley. And it will, so we'll tell you who the new pitcher is in just one moment, but we're going to take a break as he warms up. Do not go anywhere. So this is Grant Zwald on the mound, replacing Connor Hawley. Grant Zwald's first batter he will face will be... 1 second, and I will get you that. Sorry, I had to continue writing in my book and make sure I had everything updated. Grant Zwald's first batter faced will be Maverick Rockers, who is currently 0 for 3 with a strikeout, flyout, and a ground out. However, he faces Zwald, who started at game 1 of this series. In that series, let me get you his line. Zwald went 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, and he got the win in his squad's 13-1 rout of the Blues. However, comes into this one, the lead only 1 with 2 runners on here in the bottom of the 2nd. Top of the 7th, 2 runners on. They're on 1st and 2nd. Maverick Rockers will be the new pitcher. And as we finish with Grant Zwald, might finish introducing him. He is a native of North Richland Hills, Texas. However, plays his college ball at the University of Central Oklahoma. And Grant Zwald was an all-league player.
Number 5, Maverick Rockers.
By way of being a starting pitcher. That was the position in which he earned it. But right now he comes in at relief with two outs and 2 on, and his first pitch is a ball to Maverick Rockers. So looks back, this pitch low, but well blocked by the catcher Zach Becker, so that ball won't go anywhere, but it is a ball, so the count is 2-0. The 2-0 is swung on and hit by Rockers. The Callahan will be sent home. The throw, not in time. We have a tie ball game here. By way of an RBI single by Maverick Rockers. And that brings up Brennan Johnson, who comes into this game. His squad now tied for the first time since the bottom of the 1st inning. Johnson takes the first pitch in the outside part of the zone for called strike 1. Johnson is 0 for 3 on the night. However, if he finds the gap in the actually, he's going to hit this one foul. So the count moves to 0-2. But as I was saying, the outfield here in Junction City is pretty spacious, especially compared to in Baldwin City. It's 342 to left, 388 to center, and 324 to right, as opposed to Baldwin City where it's 325 at the poles, 375 to center. So it obviously takes a lot more to put one out as Johnson fouls that one off. The count remains 0-2. So Johnson will look to maybe grab the lead for his squad, who up until this inning were facing a shutout, as this pitch is inside for ball one. So the count is 1-2 now for Brennan Johnson. Once again, the pitcher is Grants Wald. He replaces Connor Hawley, and this pitch is way outside, but a good diving across the plate effort, or not across the plate, but to the left part of the zone by Zach Becker, who made sure that that pitch didn't go anywhere and Simplican Rockers did not advance a space. But the count is 2-2 with 2 outs, 2 on. The game is tied at 2-2. Johnson will put this one in play, and all the first baseman Jarek Braden has to do is catch and step. So that is the end of the inning. However, 2 runs off 2 hits, 1 error, 2 left on. We have a tie ball game here in Junction City. And when we come back, Junction City will look to regain the lead. That'll come after a break by me. Do not go anywhere. This is the Sunflower Sports Network. Keegan McDonald leads off the bottom of the 7th for the Junction City Brigade. This game right now is tied. And Keegan McDonald will hit the first one to Kuiper Kendall. The throw to first in time. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. This game, Junction City led 2-0. However, gave up 2 runs in the top of this frame. So we have a tie ball game for the first time since the bottom of the 1st inning. And Braden Dinkle will send this one past the glove of Grant Simblick. So Braden Dinkle is on with a leadoff single here, or actually not a leadoff single, that is a 1-out single here in the bottom of the 7th, and that brings up Jace Essig. Essig looking to get his first hit of the night. He's currently 0 for 3. However, if he gets a hit, he could bring the lead home or keep the line moving. But we'll have to see what happens. This first pitch in there for called strike 1. Next pitch by Vigna as Dinkle goes. This one is up in the air. Vigna calling everyone off. Vigna will make the grab, and Dinkle will not Dinkle will not be retired. He advanced safely. However, call that a P1. And actually, that could have gotten a little dicey. Christian Kotwitz also came out to get that and ended up on Vinya's back as he tried to get there, but Vinya would end up making the catch, and this is Carson Schrack is the batter, who is currently 1 for 3 as Vinya throws back to first base. Cannot find Dinkle, but Dinkle recognized that he probably would have been retired and got back to his assigned base of first in time. As this pitch to Schrack is outside, means the count starts at 1-0. As Schrack will rope this one. It's a line drive into right field. Tinko rounding third. He will presumably go home. No, he will stop there, but a 2-out double by Carson Schrack on a laser of a line drive gives the Brigade runners on second and third with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Dalton Nelson, who is the man of the hour right now. Nelson is 2 for 3. Nelson is man of the hour, as I said, 2 for 3 with a double and a home run. Had an RBI on the double and obviously his solo home run, so he has both RBIs. But we're going to have a mound visit by pitching coach Wilson Kilmer, and as that happens, we're going to take a break and be back in just a minute here on Sunflower Sports Network. Do not go anywhere. So the mound visit is over, and it will be only that. And at this time, we will update you guys on the other game in the semifinals. The Midwest A's still lead 6-0. They have a runner on first with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. They're looking to get back to a 4th consecutive Mid-Plains League Championship Series. The A's do have a championship win in 2020. As that first pitch to Nelson is inside. Junction City did not play in that 2020 season because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So in the last, I believe, 4 seasons that Junction City has played, they have won the championship. And Nelson will send this one foul, evening up the count at 1. So the count is 1-1 to Dalton Nelson, who will try to bring the lead back to his team as he has done twice already. Count is 1-1 to him. There are 2 outs. Runners on second and third as this pitch by Vinya goes outside. 4-2. So there are now 2 arms in the bullpen. For Baldwin City, we know one is Gavin Alvarez. I'm not sure who the other one is. However, this one goes inside to Nelson, so he faces a 3-1 count. As I said, once we know who the other person is, we will let you know. However, this pitch is hit, and actually, it's going to be called foul. It hit Braden Dinkle, who was running at third, and Baldwin City dugout arguing that should be out, either for batter interference or a batted ball hitting Dinkle. Either way, it will not be that. It will be a strike. So the count is full to Dalton Nelson. And the payoff pitch fouled off once again. So we will continue at 3-2. So 3-2 with runners on second and third. Nelson can, as I said, bring home the lead here in the bottom half of this seventh inning. But the payoff pitch is past the glove of Kuiper Kendall into left field. 1 run will score, as will 2. So Dalton Nelson, 4 RBIs on the day. And the lead is now back to 2 with 2 outs. Kuiper Kendall nearly had that one, but just got past his glove.
Here comes number 26, Jared Brayden.
However, obviously, as it was not caught, it was who scored, and we're going to have a new pitcher, and that is going to be Cal Urish. And as that happens, we will step aside and be back in just a minute here on Sunflower Sports Network. Do not go anywhere. Well, Cal Urish is the new pitcher, and his first batter will be Jarek Brayden. That is the end of the day for Tyler Vigna, who in this last at-bat gave up 2 more runs by way of a Dalton Nelson single. So Dalton Nelson, I'd say if this result holds, as Nelson will go, the throw to second, not in time. However, that is strike 1. So if this result holds at 4-2, I would say give Dalton Nelson player of the game. As count, as I said, is 0-1. And this one inside to Nelson. Urish had an appearance last night. In that time, I'll let you know, but the count is 1-1. And this one high to Jarek Brayden. Count now 2-1. The 2-1 pitch, fouled off by Brayden. So the count goes even at 2. And should Brayden reach base safely, George Andrews will be the next batter for Junction City. Junction City now have a 4-2 lead. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, they scored 2 runs in the last at bat as Brayden swings and misses. Strikeout number 1 for Cal Urish. And that's going to do it here in the 7th. However, 2 runs off, 3 hits, no errors.
Your Brigade will
1 left
score
on.
the lead.
Junction City retakes the lead. It is 4-2 going into the top of the 8th, and that means we're going to
Total
take a break
score
and be
for
back
Junction City
here
Brigade 2, Baldwin
shortly.
City Blue.
Do not go anywhere. Andrew Brubeck leads off the top half of the 8th inning. He will try to tie this game back up. I know I said this last inning. The Baldwin City went into the top half of the 7th down 2-0 as Brubeck takes his first pitch inside for ball 1. However, Junction City matched their 2 runs to keep the lead at 2, so the score is 4-2. As Brubeck swings and misses, so the count moves to 1-1. This is pitcher Grant Zwald out for another outing. He started game 1 of this series. As Brubeck will foul this one off, count moves to 1-2. And Brubeck is 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. He's going to try and reach base for the 3rd time to lead off this top of the 8th inning for his squad. But we will have to wait a pitch to see what happens. That one goes high, and the count even at 2 to Brubeck. And this one way inside. Brubeck able to get out, get out of the way of it. So the count goes full. So 3-2 the count. The payoff pitch swung on and missed. Make that strikeout number 1 for Grant Zwald. Who retires Brubeck to start the top of the 8th. And that brings up Kuiper Kendall, who is going to look to get on base for the first time. He's 0 for 3 tonight as this first pitch in there for called strike 1. Kendall chases at that one. So the count moves to 0-2. Actually, Kendall, I think I said he was looking to reach base for the first time as he calls time. However, Kendall takes this first pitch high for ball 1. Kendall has reached base in the first inning. That was via a third base error. However, has struck out in his last couple appearances, actually the last 2, as he takes that pitch low for ball 2. So the count is 2-2. Make that full, as this one in the dirt, or should I say turf again. So the count is full to Kuiper Kendall. Actually, one thing to note, the Junction City has the only turf facility in the league. As this pitch outside, and Kuiper Kendall started off the at-bat 0-2. However, took the next 4 to work in a 1-out walk, and that's going to bring up Harrison Jewell.
Harrison Jewell.
Jewell had a double in the first. Jewell had a double in the actually to lead off last inning. And he was the first run to score for Baldwin City, and he's going to look to bring home Kendall. But he takes the first pitch in there for called strike one. So Wald throws back to try and catch Kendall at first, cannot find him. So we will go with the count at, I believe, I thought it was 0-1. The scoreboard says 1-0. However, I will confirm that. This one goes way above. Actually, I wonder if that slipped out of the hand of Zwald, as that one was probably a couple more feet high of Harrison Jewell's head. However, Kuiper Kendall able to advance to second base via a wild pitch. And we have confirmed that the count, I believe, is 1-1. But Jewell rips this one foul into the grass past the left field bleachers. So the count moves to 1-2. There's a lot of room between left fielder Keegan McDonald and the left field line, as Jewell fouls this one off, so the count remains at 1-2. But yeah, had Jewell sent one into fair territory, Kuiper Kendall probably would have scored. But as the old adage says, if my grandmother had wheels, she would be a bike. 1-2. Low. Count moves to 2-2. So 2-2 with one out is the situation. Baldwin City Blues have a runner on second, down 2. The score 4-2 in favor of the home team Junction City Brigade, as Jewell will foul this one off, and it is into the parking lot behind us. So the count remains at 2-2. It is the top of the 8th also, so Baldwin City will want to get a move on when it comes to those runs. They have about 5 outs to play with currently, and that's with Junction City having between 3 and 6 outs themselves. Jewell swings and misses on this one, so make that strikeout number 2 for Grant Zawald, and there are 2 away here in the top of the 8th.
Number 7, Christian Kotwitz.
That's going to bring up Christian Kotwitz, who is 0 for 2. However, was hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance, but was thrown out on the base pass as part of a double play, as that pitch, breaking ball, outside for ball 1. This pitch in there, though, for called strike 1. So the count evens up at 1-1. Count 1-1, 2 outs with 2 on. Time is called. I'm not sure by who, but it means we do have a stop in the action, but we're ready to go now. Count 1-1 to Christian Kotwitz, who swings and misses there, and the count goes to 1-2. And the crowd here in Junction City got a little more lively. I think they realized that one more strike will be a strikeout, and we'll end the inning here. But we'll have to see that happen as Kotwitz swings and misses. So Wald has 3 strikeouts in the inning. So 1 run off, no hits, 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Junction City leading 4-2. And with that, we will take a break on Sunflower Sports Network. Do not go anywhere.
Andrews.
George Andrews will lead off the bottom of the 8th here in Junction City. This team currently leads 4-2 over the visiting Baldwin City Blues. Cal Urish out for another inning of work, and Urish's first pitch is in there for called strike one. Andrews swings and misses, so the count goes to 0-2 quite quickly. In there, called strike three. So 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Make that strikeout number 2 for Cal Urish here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And that brings up Isaac Peggers.
Here's number 8, Isaac Peggers,
who comes up with 1 out, looking to extend his team's lead. With that first pitch in there for called strike one. Here's his next pitch, just a little high, ball one. Peggers swings and misses, so the count goes to 1-2. This pitch fouled off by Peggers, so the count remains at 1-2. And I don't remember if I updated you guys on the other game in the semifinals. Junction City leads 6-0, Junction City leads this game as Peggers fouls another one off. Count remains at 1-2. Midwest A's lead Junction City, I'm all over the place. Midwest A's lead the Topeka Warhawks 6-0. The Warhawks have a runner on first with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Peggers will chase and swing and a miss. So make that strikeout number 3 for Cal Urish, 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. And that brings up
it's number 2, Zach Becker.
That brings up Zach Becker. Who's going to try and get something done here in the bottom of the 8th inning, in what could be his team's final plate appearance of the night, as that one is in there for called strike one. Junction City obviously leading 4-2. Those 2 runs came in the bottom of the 7th inning as Becker chases on one, so the count goes to 0-2. Becker is 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a reached on error. Over the 0-2 pitch here, hit to second base. Christian Kotwitz will make the play, so no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We move to the top of the 9th. Baldwin City is going to try one more time to keep this game alive. Junction City is going to try and stop them there and make it to another championship appearance. But with that, we will take a break and move to the top of the 9th. Do not go anywhere. Franzwald will take the mound for the top of the 9th inning. Should this game go final, Zwald will have the win as he was pitching Well, obviously this game will go final at some point, but should this game go final at 4-2, then Zwald will get the win. Currently, the loss is on Tyler Vigna. However, we will just have to see this one play out to see what happens next. But it'll be Vincent Esposito to lead off the top of the 9th inning.
Number 23.
Esposito 1 for 3. Had a single in his first at bat. However, his next 2 are a ground out to first and a double play. So he's going to try and start his team's rally off here in the top of the 9th. As I said, this is Grant Zwald pitching. Esposito batting, and this pitch in there for called strike 1. Nice count, 1-1 to Esposito. Esposito swings and fouls this one off, so the count now 1-2 to him. And Gage Callahan will be the next batter in, as this one just inside. Esposito jumping out of the way. Count evens up at 2-2. Esposito fouls this one off to stay alive in the at-bat. Still 2-2 the count. And the next 2 batters up for Baldwin City will be Gage Callahan and Grant Simblick. As this pitch by Zwald low, and the count goes full at 3-2. This pitch outside, and Vincent Esposito works a 4-pitch walk. Or excuse me, not a 4-pitch walk, actually a full count walk, but that means Baldwin City has a runner on with nobody out. And this will be Gage Callahan, who advanced on an error. That error was by Connor Hawley, and Callahan fouls his first pitch off. Count 0-1. As that error happened, it allowed Harrison Jewell to score from third base. At the time, cut the lead to 2-1. The score obviously 4-2 now, as that pitch inside to Callahan. The count is even at 1. Another inside pitch, 2-1 the count now. And we're going to have a little bit of a conference between Zwald, Carson Schrack, and Zach Becker. As that happens, they're maybe going to, I don't know, just try to talk Zwald down, or just kind of decide what they're going to do with Vincent Esposito at first base. However, it is done with, or this kind of conference between infielders is done with. So we return to the game. The count is 2-1. The scoreboard says 2-2, but it's most definitely 2-1. And Callahan swings and misses, so the count now 2-2 to Gage Callahan. Two, swung on and missed. Make that strikeout number 4 for Grant Zwald. One away here in the top of the 9th. It's going to bring up Grant Simblick. Simblick is 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts to center field. However, in his last plate appearance, reached base via a walk. And he will send this one up into the air and out of play. On top of the grandstand here at historic Raiders Stadium, the count is 0-1 now. The light's pretty much taking effect here. The sun not completely down, though. As Simblick fouls another one off, the count is now 0-2. Count to 0-2 to Grant Simblick with one out. And Esposito will go. Simblick will send this one to first base. However, so Esposito will advance to second. However, after an initial scare, Grant Simblick will be retired. So that means 2 outs. And that brings up Maverick Rockers. Baldwin City down to their final out of the season. Rockers is 1 for 4 with an RBI. That RBI was an RBI single in his last at bat. He's going to look to bring home Vincent Esposito from second base and try to cut the lead. Obviously, Maverick Rockers represents the tying run. However, as I said, there are 2 outs, so not a lot of wiggle room here as that one is hit to the second baseman track. The throw to first is past the glove of the first baseman, and Esposito will score, and Baldwin City Maverick Rockers was held up at first by Jarek Braden trying to go for that ball. So now the score is 4-3. Maverick Rockers on first base. That's going to be an E1. However, it means that the leading run is on here with 2 outs and Brennan Johnson. Johnson, however, is 0 for 4. Will try to get his first hit as that one fouled off, so the count moves to 0-1. This pitch outside for ball 1. And the Junction City Brigade faithful doing the progressively faster claps that usually signals the end of a baseball game, as this pitch is low for ball 2. That decision is cheered on by the Baldwin City Blues, but not the Brigade fans. So the count is 2-1 to Brennan Johnson. Who swings and misses at an outside pitch. The count moves even. 2-2 with 2 outs. Baldwin City down to their final strike here in Junction City. They're down 4-3. They have a runner on first. And the claps are louder. Maverick Rockers goes. However, Johnson will foul one off. Actually sends it into the Junction City dugout. Luckily, everyone was okay and nobody was hurt. However, we will come back here. Count still even at 2, and I believe they're probably going to send Rockers again, because why wouldn't you? Want to get either a stolen base, as Johnson will send this one up the middle. Nobody can get on it, and that advances the runners. There are now 2 on with nobody out. Or excuse me, not nobody out. There are 2 outs, but there are 2 on. Credit Brennan Johnson for an infield single. Actually, that one up the middle. And Aaron Eshelman will have a visit with Grant Zawald. And with that, we will step aside and be back when we are. The next batter is Andrew Brubeck. That is the end of the mound visit. Baldwin City has 2 on with 2 out, down 1, and this is Andrew Brubeck, who's going to try and get something done. Brubeck is 1 for 3 Mighty single on his first at bat and then walked the next one. Since then has failed to reach base as this breaking ball is in there for called strike one. Maverick Rockers is the man on second. Brennan Johnson on first. And Brubeck will foul this one off. So the count quickly goes to 0-2. And the Blues are down to their final strike of the season, at least for right now, with not a lot of wiggle room. As the count is 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Called strike three, catches the outside part of the zone, and that is the game. Junction City will advance to another championship series. They will eliminate Baldwin City by a score of 4-3. Granswald will get the win. Tyler Vinia with the loss. And credit a good playoff run by Baldwin City. Took Junction City to 3 games and gave them just their fourth loss in Mid-Plains League play of the year. But that's going to be it for me here tonight. To all the Baldwin City fans of whom I represent, I want to say thank you for a great season. I had a lot of fun. This was my first year calling games, and like I said, I had a whole lot of fun. And I can't wait to be back here next year. And for you Junction City fans, I will actually be doing the championship series. So you'll be getting me for potentially 2 to 3 games more. But, like I said, that's the end of me for tonight. So this is Joe Compton saying good night and God bless. Get home safe wherever you are.